Welcome to the November 22nd, 2019 video version of the Wagner Daily. My name is Rick Petticelli, and once a week this video replaces the written commentary portion of our nightly report, and hopefully this video serves as a nice change of pace from our usual report, but also offers some insight as to how we set up our charts, what time frames we use, and what indicators. In this video, we're going to go through broad market averages, so a few broad market averages to gauge the health of the current rally, then cover existing open positions, and then possibly go over new setups for the next few days. Let's get to the charts. The S&P 500 in a very strong uptrend, still above the 10-day MA. If the price action breaks down below the 10 MA, then look for a test of the 20 and further chop for maybe another week or 2 weeks. If the price is able to reclaim the 3112 area and push higher, then we could continue to see a strong uptrend above the rising 10 MA. The story is pretty much the same for the NASDAQ composite. Had this uptrend, a steep uptrend that was broken, but it's still holding above the 10-day MA. A break of the 2-day low would suggest lower prices, lower to sideways prices over the next week or two. So overall, if broad market averages can hold on to the rising 10-day MA, then there could still be further upside without any pause. If the 2-day lows are broken, then we could see a week or two of chop as the major indices digest recent gains. On to open positions. First, we're going to cover those that we closed today. The second half of our swing position in SMH was closed beneath the prior day's low. Here's our entry. I believe our first stop triggered around 133.19, so right around here, and the second stop triggered right here. And we had a nice swing entry, and the price action stalled after that gap up and failed to follow through, so we wanted a trailer stop to make sure that we were able to lock in some sort of gain. And the other sell was in CRISPR Technologies, CRSP. We entered, I believe, around 50 and added around 56. We sold the add at 70, and I was really looking to stay long as CRSP stayed above the lows of this big range up day. I was really looking for this low to hold up, but I wanted to give it some wiggle room due to the volatility. The price did break down beneath the 1119 low, which forced us to issue a sell signal to subscribers, but we were able to lock in a 16% gain on the original position and I believe a 24% gain on the add. All right, on to open positions. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but German's in pretty good shape, pushing to new highs on a pickup in volume. Depending on tomorrow's price and volume action, it's definitely going to be a higher close, and we should see a pickup in volume on the weekly chart, so a positive sign there. GDS continues to push higher after we added to the position above 45. Volume's been pretty strong the past few days, and this is a breakout to new highs on the weekly chart with what should be a pickup in volume on the weekly. Tesla, we remain long a half position. I believe we sold half around 351.84 for an almost 10% gain. We're going to stick with the second half as long as it stays above the 10-day MA and this uptrend line. APPS, we recently bought above 830, looking pretty good. NVRO, new entry over this downtrend line here on 1120. And SMBR, which has been a real pain in the you-know-what since we entered. We first purchased some shares on the break of the downtrend line around 48. We added at 49. We added some more at 50, and then it had that ugly sell-off reversal. And since then, it's just struggled to get back above 49 and hold. So I believe we have a new stop in for tonight's report, just beneath the, just beneath this 2-day low. We're not going to give it down to the 4630 area anymore. It just hasn't really showed anything. It had this 1 day up, and then false breakout and hasn't done anything. So we don't see any reason to give it more room. TQQQ, we remain long a half position. We sold the other half using the break of the uptrend line. So here's the first break, which oftentimes the price action will recover. It held the 10 MA, and here's the second break, which triggered our sell stop for half the position. And if this low is taken out here, we'll be out of the full position. TPX, another stock that really didn't do much from our entry. Here's the entry over the high of this reversal candle. Just stalled once, twice, and has shown no ability to get above 87. And now it's closing below the 20-day EMA. We have a stop that's just a bit lower, so it either works out from here and reverses higher, or we'll be out. IPHI, same deal. We entered on a pullback after a false breakout. That pullback on 11/18, there was no buying that day, and this is pretty ugly to have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars in a row with lower closes. It's not what we look for. It's definitely not what we want to see after we enter a trade. We're looking for the 10-day MA to hold up around here. And then we have EVER, which we are long from 29.18 above the highs of this, the 11.18 bar. And so far it's looking pretty good. There was some stalling here. There was some stalling yesterday, but note that volume dropped off significantly. Let's take a look at a few charts that we're currently monitoring for buy entries. First up is SE, big volume gap up. So far it's failed to hold above the highs of the gap up day around 37.50, but if it can bust through that 37.50 area and close above that level, that would be a bullish sign. YNDX from a very bullish breakaway gap up. The price and volume action was impressive on 11.18, followed by a few days of chop here. If the price can clear 40.50 on volume, it could be ready to run to the 43 area, which is the high on this weekly chart here. IEDX, we have a breakaway gap up here on big time volume. And then there's a pullback with an inside day on 11.21 on lighter volume. It might need another day or two sideways here, but this is some pretty strong price action over the past few days. D-Dog is another chart we're monitoring carefully. Just broke the downtrend line on a slight pickup in volume. This is something that could be in play here as it is quite volatile and bounced from 30 to 42, about 40% in just a few sessions. So it really has the power to run once it gets going. And the last chart of the night is a recent gap up to all-time new highs in Corvo. It's rallied about 30+%, and it before stalling here, and it's lost the 10-day MA. So odds are that it will chop around and allow the 20-day moving average to catch up, and that's where we look to for some sort of buy signal, such as a reversal candle or a tight trading range develop around the 20 EMA, something like that. Until then, we're just watching the price action. All right, well, that's a wrap for tonight's video. Thank you for joining us. And if you'd like to learn more about our style of trading, you can visit our blog at morpheustrading.com/blog. There's about 10 years worth of content there on the site, from everything from entries, exits, risk management, how to scan for stocks on TC2000, which is something that we use to find a lot of the setups that we do in the report. Anyways, just a great resource for traders, especially if you're hungry to get better. All right, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again next week.